Chapter 469. Let me into your heart. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lucien, his sisters, and the Sin stay a few hours in Daisy's lab with her. They analyze her Bloody Rose research, looking for anything that can help them now. But as none of the Sins have as much knowledge as Sloth, they don't find anything special, apart from the various mentions Rose wrote about the core of a phoenix, something that could have been just a legend before. Meanwhile, Rose spends time with Lucien's other wives, her sisters. After that complicated situation and the fact that her beloved father clearly doesn't support her as she supports him, all she wants is to be with those who support her. Heike tried to approach Rose, but when he started talking about Lucien in a disrespectful way, she got mad. So he went back to the kitchen and drank almost the entire supply of wine. Outside the castle, everywhere in Petra, everyone only talks about the stone ships, the army of beautiful women, and their leader, the most handsome and mysterious man anyone has ever heard of. And the more Elliot, the king, thinks about Lucien, the more he's sure leaving him in Heike's care can't end well. He loves his best friend, but he knows his hot-head personality and doesn't want to create enmity with someone supposedly more powerful than Daisy, and that also helped her. Then, before dinner, Elliot gets an invitation from Heike to have dinner with them. Maybe it's because Elliot is so worried that he doesn't realize the real reason Heike is doing that. Night comes as the two Argyrim moons shine in the sky. From a window in Daisy's castle, Donna watches the slaves working non-stop. Then she looks at one of the moons, that one where she and Sophia were. While her sister just slept in the great tower, Donna explored that world. She also met slave empires there, got furious, and destroyed them all. Donna knows that she doesn't have a specific hatred for slavers but rather just has so much anger inside her heart. Yet, she doesn't mind unleashing that anger on people who deserve it. We can already start serving dinner, master. A maid warns Heike. I'll let them know. Heike leaves the kitchen and goes looking for Rose and Lucien's wives. Arriving in the living room, he finds the girls talking animatedly. I'm glad you're here, dinner will be served soon in the dining room. Oh, I'll call Momi. Rose smiles as she walks towards the stairs. But Heike grabs her by the arm. No need. I mean, she and that guy are busy with their stuff, so leave them alone. Rose shakes her head with a disappointed expression. Everyone can see that Heike is drunk, jealous, and acting like a kid throwing a tantrum. Okay. She responds as she takes a step back, disappointed in her father's attitude. However, she mentally warns Lucien about dinner. She sighs and leads the other girls into the dining room. But Heike is also upset because of his actions and sits down on a sofa to drink more wine. Cassidy, Angela, and Arya don't follow the other girls but sit on a sofa in front of Heike. Humph. He looks at their bodies and can't hide a lascivious glow in his eyes. You don't look like the young girls who usually follow that kind of guy. Cassidy really wants to beat Heike. Like most of Lucien's wives, she has that longing since she saw Heike look hostilely at her beloved husband. But Angela holds her hand as she smiles amiably at Heike. We can understand how you feel. We also have daughters, and we care a lot about their well-being. Oh, I see. You're his mother's .in.law. Heike only sees a part of the big picture, and the lustful gleam in his eyes gets more intense, but only when he looks at Angela and Cassidy, as he doesn't even look at Arya, or he couldn't hide his racism. Angela doesn't like the way Heike acts or the strange look on his face, but she really wants to help Lucien because she knows that Heike's death would bring more problems than solutions. Yes, we do. So she nods. And it wasn't easy for either of us to entrust our daughters to him. I mean, we all want to make sure a man is the most perfect of all, or they wouldn't be worthy of our greatest treasures. Heike drinks more wine straight from the bottle without any etiquette. You don't understand. The best husband for my daughter wouldn't take her away from me. Cassidy shakes her head in disapproval. Actually, we understand. I don't think any parent who loves their children would want to stay away from them. It's always hard to see our children fly with their own wings and create another nest. Exactly. He smiles and drinks more wine. Then why do you look so happy? How can you be sure he's the best man without knowing everyone else? And how can you not seem to mind your daughters flying away with him? We tested him many times. Angela smiles. Until we are sure he was the best. Cassidy continues. Arya smiles too. And now we fly with him and our daughters. Heike is confused as strange thoughts arise in his mind. It's impossible not to notice how lovingly all Lucien's wives talk about him. But he's still not sure that Angela, Cassidy, and Arya are also Lucien's wives. The girls get up and walk toward the dining room with satisfied expressions on their faces. They can't help but find it enjoyable to provoke Heike and leave him with that confused expression on his face. Before leaving the living room completely, Cassidy turns back with a fake sad expression. My bad, I don't think you have the same options as us, but Daisy. Heike tries to contain his anger as he waits for the girls to leave the room. Smash! Then he makes a furious expression as he throws the wine bottle at the wall. Fuck. Everything was perfect before this guy showed up in our lives. A maid enters the room and is startled to see Heike in that furious state. But he sees her. What the hell do you want? She bows while her legs tremble. Master. Sorry to disturb you, but the king and the prince have arrived for dinner. He makes an expectant expression as he thinks aloud. Neil, you are my last hope. In Daisy's lab, Lucien makes a strange expression as he listens to Heike's whispers. Part of him knew his new father-in-law was going to cause more problems, so he kept his senses focused on him. Something wrong? Daisy asks as she notices Lucien's expression. She already knows him well enough to notice when he's concerned. In fact, she knows he's always concerned about his family, but he manages to hide that most of the time. Is nothing. He smiles at her. Dinner is ready. Let's have dinner then. She smiles back and rests her hand on his shoulder. And then we continue, okay. Actually, I think we'd better leave that for when we meet Sloth, as she's the wisest of us. He comments. Then we can focus on moving your lab to that island so you can comfortably work on making more potions with those life crystals. She nods while making a thoughtful expression. Sounds nice. And what about you helping me with that? I mean, you have life affinity and this secret ingredient. Ha ha ha. Lucien chuckles as he enjoys Daisy's smile. It would be a good opportunity for you to teach me alchemy. Her eyes sparkle. Are you really interested in alchemy? Of course. He quickly responds. Such art is so useful, so why wouldn't I want to learn it? The fact that my future teacher is so beautiful is a bonus. He. Daisy giggles while not realizing that her hand is stroking Lucien's shoulder. You've already learned the first lesson. Kissing your teacher's ass. The atmosphere between them quickly becomes tense, sexually tense, of course. But then Lucien becomes concerned about Rose's reaction if she sees that. Shit. What am I doing? Daisy can't get the image of Lucien really kissing her ass out of her mind, and she also feels guilty, not just for Rose but also for Heike. Shit. What am I thinking? But they both keep looking at each other as Daisy can't stop stroking Lucien's shoulder, and he feels more and more like moving his hands to her waist. What are you doing? Amelia, who was concentrating on the Bloody Rose research, looks at them with a curious expression. Daisy quickly takes her hand off Lucien's shoulder as she steps back. This. Lucien feels even worse. He doesn't want to mess up by thinking with his lower head instead of the upper one. Amelia giggles while feeling good by teasing Lucien. I heard dinner is ready, so why aren't we going to eat? I'm fucking hungry. Damn. I'm fucking hungry too. Daisy and Lucien think at the same time. Then they leave the laboratory and head towards the stairs. But Lucien sees Donna at the window and returns while he talks to Daisy and Amelia. "You girls can go ahead, Donna and I are going after you in a sec." As they descend the stairs, he approaches Donna and hugs her gently from behind. "What's on your mind? Can't you read my mind now that we have a soul contract?" she asks as she enjoys his hug, which makes her instantly feel better. He smiles. "I don't try to read my partner's minds as communication is essential to keep a healthy relationship. How about you tell me what bothers you, sister?" A healthy relationship. Donna wonders if that's what she really wants to have with Lucien. Well, their relationship always looked good, but crossing the line between siblings can't be healthy, right? "Everything," she answers. "Everything makes me furious. I need to unleash this rage that consumes me, not just to feel better but also to get stronger along with wrath." "I understand," he comments as he caresses her waist and starts kissing her cheek. "Then let me go there, Lucy," she begs as she feels like moaning in pleasure because of his caresses. "Let me unleash my rage on those damn racists. They deserve my axe." "Yes, they do." Lucien continues stroking her and kisses her shoulder and neck. "So. Dot. She tries to speak, but what comes out of her mouth is a cute moan. While she feels so good in Lucien's arms, the anger inside her starts to calm down. Although it is possible to feel anger and pleasure simultaneously, the feeling of pleasure that he causes is very powerful, and it overcomes everything else. "You can kill these idiots. I'll even go with you at the right time. But this isn't that moment yet." He keeps stroking her and can't stop his cock from getting hard, just like Donna can't stop her panties from getting wet. "I see," she comments as it gets harder and harder to speak. "Our sisters are out there alone, and we need to find them. I don't want to be so selfish, so help me deal with this damn anger." "Yes," he answers. "After we solve these problems, we're going to come back here, and you're going to give these slavers what they deserve." So he continues. "But now we need to follow through with our plans and head to Blue Star. But don't worry, I'm sure we'll find a lot of arrogant idiots there who will run towards your axe." "But..." Donna caresses Lucien's hands on her stomach. "Yes. I'm here too, to help you deal with any anger, any frustrations, or negative feelings. And also, whatever desires you have." He comments as he turns her body and kisses her lips. Donna doesn't resist but surrenders to Lucien's care as she kisses him passionately. "Thank you, brother." Chapter 470. Sharing a glass of blood. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon reaching the first floor of the castle, Daisy and Amelia see Heike greeting Elliot and Neil at the door. "Lady Daisy." Elliot and his son quickly bow respectfully. Neil doesn't think anyone would deserve such respect from the king, but he would take a beating from his father if he disrespected that holy woman. "Elliot, my friend." Daisy slightly nods as she mentally wonders why Heike invited them. And she quickly concludes that he must be feeling unsupported around all of Lucien's wives. Elliot bows again as he respects Daisy so much. "I am grateful for the dinner invitation, especially when we have such distinguished guests." Daisy looks at Heike quickly, trying to hide her expression of disappointment. Then she smiles amiably at the king. "No problem, my friend. I just hope you can put some sense in my husband's head." He notices Amelia behind Daisy and quickly bows to her as well. "My lady. A woman of your beauty makes even the moon feel modest." She shakes her head while laughing. "Save your compliments, little man, that's not how you're going to get my brother's friendship." Daisy tries to contain her laughter as Amelia heads into the dining room. Elliot is not ashamed but motivated. He smiles at his son. "If you could only get the affection of that beautiful lady, we could unite our families." Neil can't deny that Amelia is one of the most beautiful women he's ever seen, but his entire heart already belongs to another woman, and he's irritated by his father's suggestion. You know I love Rose. So don't even think about trying anything. He quickly responds, and Heike smiles as he gives him a thumbs up sign. But Daisy's expression quickly turns worried, and Elliot realizes that. I'm sorry, Lady Daisy, but I thought that. Well, as that lady is your friend's sister. That could be impossible. She quickly speaks. I like you, Elliot, you're a good friend, but I'm afraid you won't survive this night if you don't change that kind of thinking. Humph. Heike makes a mocking sound. What's the problem? That guy stole our greatest treasure, and you think it's bad for our prince to make his sister the future queen of the whole Freelands. Daisy feels she can't bear the stupidity of her husband and any man who has such intentions with Lucien's women anymore. Damn. Why can't you see that you are looking for death like this? But she still tries to help them, for all the years they've been friendly to her. Elliot, I suggest you and your son get out of my house now, or I won't be able to stop Lucien from killing you. While Heike makes a repulsive expression, as if he's eaten the most bitter thing in the world, Daisy smiles. Actually, I won't even try to stop him. Lucien is my guest tonight, and anyone who offends him in my house will truly deserve death. Bullshit. Heike loses patience and exclaims in anger. Daisy crosses her arms as she makes a disapproving expression, but she's not surprised by his reaction as she knows him well. Elliot is really worried, while Neil looks upset with her. Heike looks at Daisy with an annoyed expression. First, you disappear with those girls to look for a random guy, and now you're back with this guy who claims to be our daughter's husband. That sucks already, but you're also so different. Talking about killing our best friend and his son. What the hell is wrong with you? I just realized I don't deserve an asshole like you. Daisy thinks and immediately feels bad. I'm trying to help you. She explains. Lucien doesn't claim to be our daughter's husband, he's her husband, and because she chose him. You don't know anything about him, the problems he has to deal with, or how he helped me. Elliot realizes that Heike and Daisy are having one of those couples arguments, and he really doesn't want to get involved. On the one hand, he loves Heike as his brother, but he respects Daisy as the person who helped not only him but his entire people. Then he pushes his son towards the door while making a sorry expression. I think we'd better leave. We can have dinner together another day, alright. Daisy thinks it's better that way, but Heike quickly gets in front of them. No. You have to stay with me, Elliot, don't let me go through this shit alone. Elliot feels bad for his best friend. He always thought Heike wasn't worthy of Daisy, not because he's bad, but because she's so amazing. And although he also loves his son, he never thought he was worthy of Rose. But Lucien is different, just by looking at him is possible to know that no one could make a woman's heart beat like him. We'd better go, brother, Elliot begs. I don't want to make trouble. Brother. Heike also pleads. He's too scared to be in a room with Lucien and all his wives. Just dine with me, nothing bad will happen. Daisy has a concerned expression on her face, just like Elliot, but still, he can't deny support to his best friend. Alright. I'll stay, but you have to promise to behave yourself. Ha ha ha. Heike starts laughing and wraps an arm around Neil's shoulder as he leads him toward the dining room. Behave in my own house. Why not? Come on, food is getting cold. When Heike and Neil are out of sight, Elliot looks at Daisy with a sorry expression. I'm really sorry, Lady Daisy. I didn't mean to, but... I know. She quickly comments. You're a loyal friend and brother, Elliot. But you and he don't understand who you guys are dealing with. Lucien doesn't have a good relationship with men, especially those who think about messing with his girls. And he is so powerful. You think I'm strong, but I'm very weak compared to him. Elliot is even more curious about Lucien, so he approaches Daisy and asks in a soft tone. I'm curious, how powerful is he? Godlike. Daisy smiles. I'm pretty sure he could kill a god right now. A god. Elliot is shocked, and as he thinks about that, he sees Lucien coming down the stairs hugging Donna. His legs start to shake as he feels a strange cold run down his spine. This boy. How strong does someone have to be to kill a god? Lucien walks past Elliot and doesn't even look at him before heading into the dining room with Donna. Daisy follows them, but Elliot needs a few moments to stop shaking as he can never really understand how powerful Lucien is. Arriving in the dining room, Lucien notices most of his wives sitting at the large dining table, which has 50 chairs. Heike is sitting at the head while the first person on the right side of the table is Neil just before Rose, who is frowning at her father. As soon as Rose sees Lucien, she quickly speaks to him mentally. I don't know why he's doing it, this is so annoying. He smiles and responds. It's alright, my dear. He wants what's best for you and trained this boy to be the perfect husband for you. It must be bad to see his plans go down the drain. But only you can be the perfect man for me. She quickly responds. Comparing this boy with you is an insult. It's just dinner, don't be mad at him. Lucien speaks. He knows that Rose loves her father and can see that he loves her too. Making mistakes is normal, and he doesn't blame Heike for that. Yet, everything has a limit, and Lucien hopes his father-in-law doesn't push the situation to that limit. Okay. She sighs. Let's just finish this soon and then go back home. And you'll fuck me so hard until I don't remember this shit anymore. As you wish, my love. He responds and then looks for a place to sit. Donna sits next to Helena, and Lucien thinks about sitting next to Rose to support her. But he doesn't do that because he wants her to make it clear to her father who she has chosen as her husband. If he has to make that clearer, he could end up being violent, which wouldn't really be good for her. Daisy notices what Heike is doing and gets even more disappointed in him. So she doesn't sit next to him as usual but on a chair away from the head one. Lucien. She smiles at him as he pulls out the chair beside her. Heike can't help but frown as he is furious at that. He tries to show Daisy his expression, but she doesn't even look at him. Rose notices that, and her lips curve into a smile as she feels avenged. Lucien sits down next to Daisy and smiles at her. Lust quickly sits down beside him, not on his lap this time, as she feels he needs space. He is more and more sure that Daisy's marriage is too flawed to be fixed, but that's not a bad thing as he really wants to give her the love she really deserves. But he can't do anything until Rose realizes that. So he just acts friendly. So, what do we have for dinner? As soon as he asks, several servants start serving all kinds of food. The girls have fun talking while Heike doesn't know whether to focus on making faces at Daisy or encouraging Rose to talk to Neil. Elliot finally joins the table and sits opposite Daisy and Lucien. He is focused on having an alliance with him, or at least not letting there be any enmity between them. Lady Daisy. Elliot respectfully speaks as he pulls out a luxurious bottle of dark red liquid from his storage ring. Albino dear, as you like it. Daisy's eyes sparkle as she smiles and takes the bottle. Thank you, my friend. It's my favorite kind of animal blood. Elliot smiles too, but Heike makes a disgusted expression. That isn't the first time Elliot has brought blood from rare animals to Daisy, but he never gets used to that side of her. She quickly opens the bottle, and Lucien hands her a glass, then she fills it with blood and drinks it slowly. Oh! This feels so good. Lucien watches the expression of pleasure on her face as a drop of blood runs down her lips. He has to control his excitement as he finds that extremely erotic. He remembers how good Rose and he felt drinking each other's blood, and he can't stop thinking about what it would be like to have that relationship with Daisy. What are you looking at? Daisy asks Lucien in a playful tone. He smiles. Nothing important, I was just thinking about how good this albino deer blood is. She makes a thoughtful expression. Why don't you try it? Lucien is not a vampire, but the blood pact with Rose allows him to enjoy her blood. Then he wonders if he can enjoy blood other than hers. Why not? He picks up his wine glass and drinks it all in one gulp to clear the glass before placing it in front of Daisy. She is about to fill his glass with blood, but then she stops and thinks about something. I don't want you to waste a single drop of this rare blood if you don't like it. Then she pushes her glass of blood toward him. That action may not mean much to other people, but it's not normal for a woman and a man to use the same glass without them having a very close relationship. Heike stares at them as he gets even angrier. He's sure Daisy is punishing him for not accepting Lucien, but he thinks she's going too far. Lucien, on the other hand, doesn't think much about the glass as he's more curious to taste the blood. Then he takes a sip and surprisingly finds it's good, although extremely inferior to Rose's blood. Coincidentally, a drop of blood also runs from his lips. Daisy sees that, and her mind acts exactly like Lucien's, making her imagine things. She gets so horny that her panties start to get wet, so she quickly runs a finger over that drop and drinks it. No waste, remember. Everyone sees that inappropriate act and is silent while they can hear the heavy breathing of Heike, who now looks like a mad dog about to jump on Lucien's neck. Chapter 471. A Patient Devil. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The suggestive interactions between Lucien and Daisy don't seem at all strange to his wives. It's natural for girls to see him flirting, but it's also interesting to see how the mature vampire teases him in such a subtle way. But for Heike, that is like hell, literally the worst day of his life. What the hell are they doing? Why doesn't she see that this is the same as humiliating me in front of everyone? And why does this guy hate me so much? Heike can't help but think that Lucien has some kind of grudge against him. Does he really think he can steal my daughter and wife in front of me? Elliot, on the other hand, doesn't think Lucien is doing that on purpose but rather thinks it's Daisy who is instinctively looking for a more fit partner than his best friend. I knew this day would come. I told this thick-headed to appreciate his wife, but he was blinded by arrogance. Elliot clearly sees how Heike always thought no man would want to marry what he calls in secret as his hot blood-sucking parasite. Elliot still loves Heike as his brother but doesn't blame Daisy for flirting with a man who isn't disgusted by her vampire side. He could be that man himself if his honor didn't prevent him from doing such a shameless act with his best friend. O.Oregon Neil. Well, the young prince has only one thought in his mind since he sat down next to Rose. She is so beautiful and perfect. Lucien isn't indifferent about how he influences the people around him. He can see that despite not being purposeful, Daisy is instinctively asking for his help. And he wants to help her. Such a charming, intelligent, strong woman who is also a caring mother. His possessive and lustful feelings are activated to the fullest, begging him to love that perfect woman. Everything would be so easy if Heike just disappeared. A dangerous thought flashes through Lucien's mind, and he quickly shakes his head. Who do I want to deceive? That would be easy only for me and not Rose. He can feel that even though Rose finds it funny that her father is experiencing a shock due to how bad he is as a husband, she still loves him, and her heart is bleeding to see him suffer. For a second, Lucien tries to put himself in Heike's shoes and realizes how awful it must be to see his wife acting that way with another man. Then he sighs and pushes the glass back to Daisy. It's not bad, but I prefer to stick with the wine. I see. Daisy also realizes she has gone too far and looks at Heike with a sorry expression. Ha ha ha. At least you're having a much better reaction than mine. Elliot tries to lighten the mood. Many years ago, I tasted blood, and I got sick for a couple of months. Daisy laughs too. You vomited the dinner all over the table, ha ha ha. Everyone starts laughing, imagining that scene. But Heike just looks more upset. No one should have to drink blood, that's as disgusting as stupid. Lucien definitely doesn't like that comment. He doesn't understand how Heike can insult his own wife like that. Maybe some people can't change how they are, what they are. Bullshit. Heike quickly responds. We are what we want to be. And anyone who can't change such defects in themselves is weak and stupid. Really? Lucien asks as he starts pulling the ghost lady out of his scabbard under the table. But Daisy quickly uses her other hand to hold his as she looks at him with a pleading expression, causing him to calm down. Heike, my brother. Elliot quickly tries to calm his best friend. We should not let a dinner party that's supposed to be a celebration end up in a situation we don't want to remember. He sighs and tries to calm down. You're right. I'm just a little stressed. Heike knows that acting that way won't help, but he can't be calm when he seems to be losing the two women he loves the most. That's normal. Elliot smiles. You were more than a year away from your beloved little princess and several days without your beloved wife. A man is nothing without those he loves most. Heike drinks all the wine from his glass at once before his eyes go from Rose to Daisy, then to Lucien. Exactly, my friend. And that's why a man would rather die than let another steal those he loves most. Rose and Daisy roll their eyes at the same time as Lucien starts to eat the food Lust has put on his plate and tries to ignore Heike's words. Let's not talk about sad things, Dad. Rose begs as she eats some food. She'd rather be drinking blood, Lucien's blood, but she knows her father couldn't bear to see that. Heike makes a great effort to smile at his daughter. He can't look so worried as that would only make him lose more face. Indeed, my daughter. A family dinner should be the time for pleasant conversations. A family dinner. TSK. Daisy shakes her head as she whispers. So why did you bring your friends to support you like in a fight? Lucien has a hard time containing his laughter, but Heike doesn't understand her words. What did you say, my love? Daisy also has to make an effort to make a fake happy face. I said it's so good that we're all together again. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Heike smiles and then puts his hand over Neil's. We are family here, even you and your father. Neil is happy and sad at the same time. He was always very grateful that Heike liked him and always loved him as a second father. Knowing that Heike had always wanted him to be his son-in-law was the best gift he could ask for, but now that feels like a dream, a collective delusion. I am very grateful, Lord Heike. He smiles as he speaks politely. If he acted rudely in Great Lady Daisy's house, his father would disinherit him in the least. But Heike quickly shakes his head in disapproval as he caresses the prince's hand. No need to be polite here, Neil. We've always been so close, and I see you as my own son. Elliot and Daisy don't like the way of that conversation, but before they can do anything, Heike makes it worse. Actually. He looks at Rose with a disappointed expression. I always believed my daughter thought so too. We could have become even closer as a family, but... Scrape the sound of Lucien pushing his chair back gets the attention of everyone at the table. He gets up, making the mood instantly tense. His wives are in doubt about his next actions, but whatever he wants to do, they will support him. They can clearly see how Heike is neither a good husband nor a good father. Elliot's legs shake again as he remembers how Daisy told him Lucien could kill a god. Is it now? Is it now that I will see the power that could kill a god? Damn, I don't even know how powerful a god should be. Just try something. Heike really wants Lucien to try something against him, so Daisy and Rose can defend him and see what that devil really is. Well, how Heike thinks he is. Neil can't really think about anything other than Rose and how much he loves her. And Daisy can't contain her excitement. Exactly, her heart is beating too fast as she feels Lucien's energy inside her blood nascent. A part of him is inside her and will always be a part of her, which makes her feel connected to him more than to Sophia, even though her energy is also there. Flirting in front of her husband was already very crazy and made her feel pleasant adrenaline. But now, not knowing what Lucien is going to do next is even more exciting. Is this how it ends? Am I going to become a widow now? Daisy can't help but imagine Heike's head rolling. And while she feels a little bad for her loyal husband, she feels even worse for her daughter. Rose will be very sad. But it will be better this way. Heike could never accept us as we really are. As Lucien accepts us. She prepares to take Rose out of the dining room quickly, not to let her see that violent scene. But contrary to what everyone thinks, Rose knows that Lucien would not kill her father. She knew in her heart that he would never hurt her. Oh, sorry. Lucien smiles before looks at little Ko. I'll help you, darling. Then everyone watches as he walks over to Ko and helps her cut a piece of steak with a knife and fork. The little tigress is trying to learn how to eat like people so that Lucien can be proud of her, but she is having a hard time with cutlery. Elliot breathes a sigh of relief while Heike is frustrated. Daisy, on the other hand, feels confused. The worst part for her is not knowing if she really wanted her husband dead. No, he doesn't deserve that. She concludes. He is not the best husband, but he was good to Rose and me. A peaceful separation would be best for everyone. While Lucien has an amazing father-daughter moment with little Ko, making Oya and his other wives smile beautifully, Heike only gets more upset. What was I talking about? He looks at Neil and Rose again. Oh yeah. We were always very close, weren't we? I remember the promise Elliot and I made when we were just two kids living in a cave. Daisy starts to get really upset by Heike's actions, but she focuses on controlling her emotions, otherwise, she fears killing her husband with her own hands. Rose is also very upset by that conversation, but she doesn't think of anything violent against her father and just begs him to stop. Dad. But he ignores her request and forces Elliot to participate in that act that only humiliates him. My brother, do you remember that? It's been a long time. Let's not talk about it, please, brother. Elliot also begs Heike to stop. But Heike ignores him too and goes on. At that time, the promises were for life, an inviolable vow. And we promised that if our children were born of different genders, they would marry, uniting our family also by blood. Dad. Rose pleads again for Heike to stop. But he sees nothing but his own stubbornness. I remember the first time I saw Rose and Neil together. He was just a baby, and she took care of him with so much love and kindness. I thought it would be great to see him taking care of her one day as I take good care of my Daisy. Dad. Rose starts to get angry. But Heike doesn't stop even when Daisy and Elliot also start begging. Dad. Please. Dad. Rose's pleas echo in Lucien's mind as the urge to kill Heike grows stronger, quickly approaching his limit. But it reaches Rose's limit first. She becomes enraged, materializes a stone knife, and stabs it into Neil's hand, making blood splashes over the table. Ah! The prince screams in pain as he feels his hand being torn apart by Rose's violent energy. She quickly materializes a knife in her other hand and puts its tip on Neil's neck while looking at Heike. I'll kill him if you don't stop. Rose. Heike quickly gets up while getting very confused. Elliot also stands up while acting on impulse, drawing his sword and pointing at Rose. He loves Heike and respects Daisy a lot, just as he fears Lucien. But upon seeing his only son's life threatened, his paternal instinct speaks louder. As Daisy gets up too, worried about how that will end, Lucien sees it all in slow motion. He didn't want it to be that way, but now that Rose has chosen to act, he will support her. Put down your sword. He speaks in a calm but dominant tone as he materializes the golden naginata and points at Elliot. The golden Naginata's overwhelming aura spreads across the room, affecting only Heike, Elliot, and Neil. They feel an instinctive fear run through their bodies as even breathing becomes difficult. The word king quickly takes on new meaning for them, as kneeling in front of Lucien and begging for his forgiveness is all they want to do. Chapter 472. Together in the Imperfection. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Elliot's paternal instincts are quickly destroyed by Lucien's dominant aura. The poor man knees as he drops his sword. "Forgive me, I'm so sorry." Heike can't speak, while Neil can't even scream in pain. But Rose doesn't take the knife out of his hand as she looks at her father. "I'm done with this shit." Daisy is silent to let Rose handle the situation, so she continues. "You always tried to control me, and I didn't care, but now you're trying to push me away from the man I love. But you can't change it, Dad." She sighs. "I chose Lucien, and nothing can change it. I won't let anything separate me from him." She looks at Neil with a sad expression before continuing to talk to Heike. "I shouldn't have to prove to you that he's perfect for me, and neither will I do it. But I won't let you push me to another man." Rose's hands don't shake as she shows her fangs to her father. "If you suggest or even think of me with another man besides Lucien, I'm going to kill them. Not because I need to do that, but because I want to. And if you really consider Neil as your son, you'll stop this shit." Heike can't think straight as he's terrified because of Lucien's aura. But Elliot starts to beg. "Please, Lady Daisy, Lady Rose, spare my son. None of this is his fault. I always trusted Heike and let him influence Neil, but that was never my intention. I never thought he was worthy of you. Rose. My daughter. Don't do it, please." Heike stops thinking only about his needs and regrets putting Elliot and Neil in that situation. He can see that Rose could actually kill the poor boy for his mistakes, which scares him. Rose has never been so angry before. All she wanted was for her father to get along with her husband. But she won't allow anyone to humiliate Lucien, ever. She dematerializes the daggers and pushes Neil towards his father. "Get out of here, now." The young prince's blood runs down from the wound in his hand, but that is not fatal. Elliot forces his son to kneel along with him as he continues to bow. "Thank you so much. And please, forgive us." Elliot quickly leaves the castle with Neil without holding any grudges. He feels that everything that happened was his fault for letting Heike take that madness too far, and all he wants now is to get away from Lucien, Rose, and Daisy. But in the dining room, the atmosphere remains tense. Heike looks at Rose with a sad expression. "You've changed so much. I don't recognize my little princess anymore." "No, Dad." She shakes her head. "I've always been like that. A bloody vampire. But you never wanted to see me like that way. You tried to dress me up as your little princess and make me change, but Lucien set me free." "I guess so." Heike also looks at Lucien with a sad expression. Then he looks at Daisy. "Do you feel that way too?" Daisy looks hesitant, which only makes Heike feel worse. "I think you just don't accept what we are." Heike feels very bad and confused. Then he looks at Lucien once more before walking out of the dining room. Rose sighs as she sits down again. Then she looks at Lucien. "Sorry about this mess, it shouldn't be like this. I found it pretty wild, ha ha ha." Donna laughs, trying to lighten the mood. The girls smile, including Rose. She feels so relieved to be able to act like she really wants and unleash all the frustrations she's always harbored deep in her heart. Lucien approaches her, hugs her from behind, and kisses her neck. "You don't have to apologize for anything, my love." Her mouth looks for his lips, begging for his blood in a delicious bloody kiss. But before that, he looks at Daisy. "Do you think we can put an end to this problem now?" Daisy is confused too. She is feeling different emotions while having different thoughts. I'm not sure about that. Lucien understands that, but he knows that if Heike is left alone now, he will continue to feel bad, abandoned, and betrayed, which will result in another situation like that. Alright, I'll talk to him then. He speaks. You do not have to do this. Rose takes Lucien's arm. He caresses her face. I'm just going to talk to him, explain that we're a family now, and we can resolve these differences peacefully. Okay. Rose lets Lucien go despite wanting to be with him now. She's happy that he always tries to do the best for her, even when it's not easy for him. Daisy watches Lucien leave the dining room while she doesn't know what to do. Then she looks at her daughter, and Rose smiles at her. The mature vampire feels a mix of happiness, anger, and jealousy, which leaves Amelia, Donna, and the Sins confused. I gotta go. Then she follows Lucien, leaving Rose with a strange expression on her face. Rose feels a hand touch hers and realizes it's Angela, smiling gently at her, as do Lucien's other wives. We are with you. In the hallway, Lucien continues walking as he hears Daisy's hurried footsteps. He can also hear the accelerated heartbeats of the mature vampire, but he doesn't stop walking. Help me, Lust. He mentally speaks to the one he trusts the most. Tell me what to do because I'm not sure which is the best way. Lust understands Lucien's feelings and thoughts better than anyone else. But she also doesn't want to influence his decisions. I hate to say this, but I think that mysterious woman in your dreams was right. Really? He remembers the woman who told him about brainwashing and other things. Yes. Lust explains. She told you always to follow your heart's desires and not let other people influence you too much. I think this is the path we are on, and this is a better way to be the Lust Sin than I could ever do myself. My selfish desires. He thinks. And lustful. She completes. Thank you, my love. Lucien responds and then stops walking. Daisy stops walking when she arrives right behind him. She doesn't know what to do as she is very confused, upset, worried. If no one goes to talk to him, he'll just feel worse, and that won't be good for anyone. Lucien comments. Can you stop worrying about everyone just for a moment? Daisy asks as she moves closer to Lucien. Heike is already an adult and responsible for his own mistakes. Of course. Lucien turns and smiles at Daisy. So, what's the problem that is making you feel this way? She gets even closer to him until there are only a few inches between their bodies. Due to the height difference, she should look up to see his face, but she prefers not to look at his eyes now, and the view of his chest is pretty nice. You saw the problem. She explains. My husband doesn't accept me for who I am. He's disgusted by me. It's always been like that. I thought his loyalty would be enough to keep our marriage. I wanted a good father for my child, and he seemed to be the right person. Heike loves Rose, I have no doubts about it. He's just very stubborn about some things. Lucien comments. I know he loves her, but it alone doesn't make him a good father. She responds. He also doesn't accept what she is and is disgusted by her true nature. While Lucien can't deny Daisy's sad words, she continues. But I am not concerned about my daughter, not anymore. She's met a man who totally accepts her. Daisy starts stirring with Lucien's shirt. A man who takes care of her, who satisfies all her needs and desires. I actually envy her. Lucien doesn't say anything while enjoying Daisy's natural perfume. Her personality, her body, her scent, and even her voice attract him as few women can. All his being craves the mature vampire very much. Daisy feels a little bad for her actions, but she doesn't back down. She wants to be selfish for the first time, so her fingers slowly begin to enter Lucien's shirt and touch his chest directly. In these last several years, all I've thought about was what my family would be like after my death. I only cared about Rose and Heike. I didn't have time for my own needs. She continues. She opens her hand inside Lucien's shirt and touches every part of his chest. And now that I'm healed and well, I want to start working on my future. I still had hopes of fixing my marriage, but Heike just made it clear that he doesn't want to be the man who satisfies my desires and needs. Daisy uses her other hand to caresses Lucien's hand. I'm very fragile right now. I thought I was a strong woman who could handle everything on my own, but the truth is that I need a partner I can trust on. I need a man who loves me the way I am. You already have it. Lucien speaks as he quickly places his hands around Daisy's waist and presses her body against the hallway wall. Then he kisses her lips passionately. Their lips touch, and waves of pleasure run through their bodies. Both are immediately addicted to each other's scent and taste as they smash their lips. Daisy quickly opens her mouth, and as if reading her mind, Lucien shoves his tongue inside it, initiating the real kiss. Mm. She couldn't contain her moans as she moved her hands over his back. He moves his tongue dominantly around hers, exploring every part of her delicious mouth as he runs his hands over her body. They continue to kiss passionately. That is so good as they both imagined so many times, and now they feel incredibly marvelous. Daisy is the first to run out of breath and moves her lips just an inch from Lucien's mouth as he continues to kiss her. Damn. I promised myself I wouldn't fall in love with you. She says. You shouldn't make promises you can't keep. He comments as he moves his lips down, kissing her face, neck, and shoulders. Also, his hands caress her waist, and his fingers increasingly approach her ass. She wants him to kiss every inch of her body, but right now, her mouth craves his more than anything. It can't be helped. I'm a woman who doesn't settle for anything but the best, and you're the best. Lucien lifts Daisy by the thighs to kiss her lips better as he forces his hips against hers, making them both feel their most private parts over their clothes. He is so hard while she is so wet. I've wanted you since the first time we met. He kisses her as he holds the back of her neck with one hand and uses the other to caress her breast. I wanted to take care of you so badly, not just because of Rose, but also because I'm so selfish. Daisy feels so loved, so desired, and so complete. That's so good that she forgets everything else. Right now, all that matters is her, Lucien, and their bodies, touching and loving each other. She speaks in a muffled tone between kisses and moans. You are no more selfish than I am, the woman who craved her daughter's husband so badly. We're both imperfect. He comments as he continues kissing and touching her sexy body. Her curves are so perfect that he feels he doesn't really have control over his passion for her right now. Daisy feels the same way. She knows it's very wrong to do that now and in the hallway. That could hurt Heike and Rose, but she can't contain the desires she's been holding back for so long. That makes us perfectly imperfect for each other. She comments as she holds on to Lucien's horns and strokes his hair. I guess so. He smiles while kissing and biting her lips. Part of him wants to make the blood pact with her right now, and she feels the same. Chapter 473. A Marriage Ends. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Daisy moans as she and Lucien continue to kiss passionately. She can feel the burning desire he has for her, and that is infinite times superior to what Heike could ever feel. Since her previous life ended, she has sought a new beginning, a new place to call home, and someone to take care of her. She wanted that person to be Heike, but now she understands that only Lucien has what it takes to make her really happy as he does to Rose. As their lips touch madly, their tongue creates a dance of their own. And Daisy can't keep her fangs back as her whole body begs for Lucien's blood, for the pact that can bind them forever, which she has no doubts she wants to do. I want it. Ah. Lucien, give it to me, please. She begs as her fingers start to enter his underwear. Despite Daisy's actions, Lucien knows that what she wants more than his body is his blood. He feels her fangs scratching his lips. I want to give it to you. Daisy. His words make Daisy instantly upset. She knows that Lucien is not the kind of person who talks about what he wants to do but rather does that. Despite her body craving for Lucien's a lot, Daisy starts to slow down her lip movements and pulls back her hands. But you won't give it to me, right? Daisy. This is complicated. Lucien takes a step back, and lets go of her body. She makes a confused expression. I can't understand. I thought you wanted it too. He hugs her again and looks into her eyes. I've already made it clear that I want you. She quickly starts kissing his face. Then let's do it. I just need you to make the blood pact with me, and I'll be only yours forever. You know, I never insisted on doing it with Heike because I knew he wasn't the right man. I agree with you. He gently caresses her face. I really want to make the blood pact with you. But we can't do it like that, hiding like criminals. Daisy understands what Lucien means. She feels a little bad for wanting to act so selfishly, but she can't contain her feelings. So what? Heike does not love me because he can't accept me for who I am, but he won't give up on me easily because of his pride. She asks while pouting, making it hard for Lucien to resist kissing her again. Don't make that sad expression. He kisses her lips while caressing her waist. I agree with you that Heike doesn't love you, not like me. But if you abandon him like that, he won't accept it, and that will only make Rose suffer. We have to. Like you love me. Daisy can't help but smile and interrupt Lucien. He smiles and kisses her again. Yes, I'm sure I love you. Since that healing session, she cannot contain her excitement and happiness. Her heart beats even faster as she feels relieved that she's not the only one having those feelings. Okay, so what are we going to do? We have to make it clear to Heike that you don't love each other. He explains. You're already doing it, so I'm going to focus on showing him that you are too different to make it work. Can you really make him understand it? She asks. I mean, he's very stubborn. He's arrogant, but I don't think he's really dumb. Lucien comments. And we have to try at least to resolve it peacefully for Rose. He and Daisy talk at the same time. Then they smile and kiss. But then she makes a thoughtful expression. What about the journey? He quickly responds. Luz told me that humans are the only other race besides the aquatic races in the Blue Star, so I think it's going to be a good opportunity for him to meet new people and places and thus understand that you and he don't really match. What if he doesn't want to come with us? She asks. Then it's done. He explains. I wouldn't want to do things like that, but he wouldn't be giving me a choice but taking you for me once we're away from here. I don't hate this option. She naughtily smiles as she kisses his lips and strokes his chest. Lucien sighs as he gets frustrated that he can't eat the naughty mature vampire right now. Daisy. She smiles kindly. I know, we have to do it the right way. I agree with you, but what if I can't contain my desires and needs before Heike accepts our marriage is gone? Lucien hugs Daisy and kisses her passionately while squeezing her ass with both his hands. Then you can come to me, and I'll satisfy you. He doesn't like having to do things that way, but he and Daisy understand that sometimes it's necessary to make sacrifices for their children. Lucien does not doubt that if he had to do something like this to keep his future children from suffering, he would. And that doesn't mean he and Daisy won't be together soon, but that they just have to wait a while. She moans more. I won't be able to stop if you keep making me feel so good. He keeps kissing her and caressing her perfect body. I don't want to stop making you feel good. Lucien has to use all his will to stop kissing Daisy and take a few steps back. Then he smiles at her. The sooner we resolve it, the sooner we can be together again. She bites her own lips as she looks at him with her red eyes sparkling with expectation. All right. Then she walks up to him and kisses his lips again before going to look for Heike. Daisy feels not only so good and happy but also more strong than ever. That powerful energy of Lucien she felt inside her blood nascent now runs throughout her whole body. As he watches Daisy's back, Lucien feels he has done the right thing. He made his feelings clear, but he also chose to do things in a way that Rose doesn't suffer. Now he just needs to convince Heike to separate from Daisy. So he goes back to the dining room and finishes dinner with his girls. They waste no time before heading back to the Purple World for a long training session. Donna doesn't go with them to the Purple World. She knows what Lucien and his girls are going to do, which makes her very embarrassed. So she stays with Helena and Genevieve in excellent bedrooms that Rose has prepared for them in Daisy's castle. On one of the castle's balconies, Heike looks out over the city with a thoughtful expression. Damn! I really screwed up. Then he hears footsteps behind him and turns around. He sees Daisy looking at him with a sorry expression, which makes him feel even worse. Daisy. We have to talk. She speaks in a neutral tone. Heike is sure Daisy wants to part with him. Despite wanting to deny that, part of him knew she was never entirely happy with him. He thought that she would never find someone in Argerim who would fully accept her and also that Rose would keep them together. But now he's not sure of that anymore, which is scary. Please, Daisy, forgive me. The thought of losing his wife makes Heike beg. Daisy would like to feel sorry for Heike, but she doesn't feel anything about him anymore. All she wants now is to do that in a way that doesn't hurt Rose so much. Rose and I are going to another world with Lucien and our new family. She gets right to the point. Then that's it. Heike approaches Daisy and takes her by the shoulders. Are you really going to abandon your husband? She can't help but compare his touch to Lucien's, and although it's weird, she feels Heike's touch has become unfamiliar and even disgusting. She pushes him back. That has nothing to do with us. Lucien and his sisters are in trouble, and they need my help. Heike would like to believe Daisy's words, but he can see in her eyes that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. That hurt both his heart and his ego. In desperation, he thinks about begging more or even using Rose to stop his marriage from ending. But his pride doesn't allow that, just as it doesn't allow him to give up Daisy. I'll go with you. He speaks in a determined tone. Even if things don't look good for him, he won't lose her without fighting. Daisy sighs as she gets frustrated. She hoped Heike wouldn't want to go with them, accepting that their marriage was really over. But she's already decided to stay with Lucien, so nothing will ruin her plans. Maybe we won't be able to go back for several years. There will also be many dangers there, and I won't be able to protect you all the time. She speaks honestly. You're likely to die if you actually come with us. It would be good for you, right? He asks in an angry tone. So you and Rose could have a perfect life with that stupid boy. Daisy clenches her hands into fists as she shows Heike her fangs. She really wants to kill him with her own hands even though they've been married for so many years. That is the result of so long suffering with frustrations and his distorted way of loving. However, she thinks about how she can be happy with Lucien soon, making such a mistake now would only ruin their plans. So she turns and walks away from Heike. But he runs and gets in front of her. Daisy. Shit, forgive me. I didn't mean to say that. You don't understand how hard it is to see the woman I love wanting to get away from me. That's your fault. Daisy speaks in an angry tone. You have been pushing me away for a long time. Or do you think I don't know how you disapprove of everything I do? Damn. You even feel disgusted by me for what I am. Heike would like to deny Daisy's words, but he can't. Why can't you be a normal woman? He is confused because he thinks he loves her but cannot accept their differences. Yet, he doesn't want to give up on her. Even though she is a vampire, she is the most beautiful and powerful woman he could ever have as his wife. Also, she can protect his people against dangers they can't even imagine. I will not give up on you. He speaks as he tries to hold her arm. But Daisy easily avoids him while floating backward. That's not going to change anything. I'm sorry things ended up like that, but that was your fault for not trying as hard as I did all those years. I won't lose you. He yells. She shakes her head. That journey will be your end, and I don't really feel sorry for you but for Rose, who won't have a father anymore. However, I will always take good care of her. With Lucien's help. Bam smash Heike punches the balcony parapet as he grows angrier than ever. However, he is also very motivated to prove to Daisy that he can be a good husband to her and a good father to Rose. Fear is a potent factor that can make people change, but could it be enough to save his marriage? While Heike spends the entire night thinking about ways to get Daisy's affections again, and she doesn't sleep either, imagining everything she wants to do with Lucien. Chapter 474. The portal is ready. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Another day is born in Argeron. And just like in every other city where Lucien's troops have been, everyone in Petra already knows how amazing the handsome devil is. Wasting no time, he and the girls help Daisy move all her lab equipment to storage treasures. Lucien can't help but think that she'd be much more comfortable moving her lab directly to the huge room he'd set up in the Purple World home. Heike also prepares his bags to travel with them as he cannot accept losing Daisy. Then after a few hours, they leave the city and the eastern continent. Just the quick journey to the Life Crystal Mine is already torturous for Heike. Despite traveling on a troop's ship, all the women around him look at him with hostile expressions. The girls are very loyal to Lucien and hate him for not being friendly with their master. But everything gets worse when Heike meets Eve, and especially Pride, who likes to release her aura only to see him almost pissing himself in fear. Daisy immediately starts preparing potions with the crystals Sophia and the other girls got, and on the next day, half of Lucien's troops are helping to mine without taking any risks. The days go by, and while everyone takes turns to mine the huge amount of life crystals down to the ocean floor, Lucien also spends part of his time in the Purple World with his wives. After a week in the normal world, Lucien spent even more time with several hours in the Purple World. He not only had love sessions with all the girls together, but he also had alone sessions with all of them. Not just sex, but he also helped girls train their abilities and skills. With Amelia, Lucien mainly trained their teleport ability and sword skills, while with Donna, he trained with various types of weapons and helped her a lot to improve her control over soul weapons. He tried to help Sophia improve her bow skills so she could use her soul weapon, the magic bow, better. But all she wanted to do was relax in his arms along with Sloth, after long sex sessions, of course. By the end of that week, the improvement all his wives had was tremendous, something so extraordinary that the Sins got again impressed. Due to the difference in power levels between Lucien and most of his wives and the fact that his demonic energy is getting better and better, all the girls who were in the middle mortal realm went straight to its late stages. Oya was the first to reach the 9th layer of the mortal realm, followed by Cassidy, Angela, and surprising Galena, which was due to her receiving more demonic energy from Eve and Pride. Then other girls like Galena, Astrid, Olivia, Scarlet also reached the 9th layer, followed by more and more girls. Only those with less interest in combat like Kara, Arya, and Madeline remain in the 8th layer. Little Ko is also exceptional for having reached the 6th layer just playing with Lucien and receiving his pets. He also helped her train with swords, just as he and Eve did in his childhood. And in training sessions in the normal world, Ko had as a training partner Estella, the daughter of the woman Lucien accepted into his troops. Ko and Estella are best friends, like sisters, and because of that, Lucien gave her mother, Raquel, special treatment, similar to what he gave Lorelei before she became his wife. Lucien also advanced one layer, reaching the Earth Realm's 3rd layer, while Sophia reached the 6th layer and Amelia the 5th. Just by having his tattoo and passing a pleasant time with Lucien, Donna already felt an explosive improvement in her strength and advanced a layer, reaching the fourth one. Eve, on the other hand, managed to advance one layer with her own power. Although it took her many days to do that, reaching the second layer of the Sky Realm could take more than a decade for very talented people with vast resources and centuries for most people. So Pride congratulated her on that. Although everyone shared Lucien and his sister's concerns about Naomi and Claire, that week was quite nice and relaxing. That was an excellent time, which allowed Lucien to improve his relationship with all his wives except Daisy. The mature vampire tried to focus as much on her alchemy as possible to ignore Heike and hold her feelings for Lucien. In the end, not only did she not have a good time, but Heike had a terrible week. And Rose noticed that. She saw how much her mother tried not to lose patience with Heike. But it's obvious to everyone that their marriage is over, and Rose doesn't blame her mother for that. The closer they get to the portal at the bottom of the mine, the more Rose becomes concerned about her father's health. She always tried to think that everything was fine between Heike and Daisy, but she saw how he hadn't really treated her well all those years. Then, inevitably, that day arrived. BAM, pieces of crystals fly everywhere due to Wrath's great war hammer. She's definitely able to mine faster than anyone, but she ends up turning most of the crystals into powder before they could be used. Lucien flies down to the bottom of the mine. They can move freely within a 100-meter radius around that island as Angela, Marie, and Lena keep the water out of that space, creating a barrier around the mine. So, he looks at the portal, a dozens-meter long arch made of a kind of greenstone, similar to the life crystals. Now, the portal looks like a lifeless rock with nearly faded lines, but it just needs to be energized with life crystals, which Lucien has many, literally thousands of them, filling various storage treasures. Amelia makes a thoughtful expression. How could that woman know about it? We had so much work getting all those crystals out until we got here. Does it make a difference? Eve asks. I mean, if we can go to the Blue Star easily with this portal to find our sisters, it is good, right? I guess so, Donna comments as Sophia just relaxes on her floating pillow beside Lucien. What do we need to do now? He asks. Check the enchantments to make sure it leads to the Blue Star and power the portal again. Daisy explains. Lucien smiles at her. Can you, please? She can't help but smile back at him. Sure. He takes one of the storage rings full of life crystals from his pocket to give it to Daisy, but then he feels Rose arrive beside him and stir his shirt. He looks at her, and she quickly explains. Hubby. We need to talk about something. Is something wrong, my dear? He asks as he caresses her face, making Daisy feel a little jealous, and envy smiles. Rose seems hesitant, but then she looks at her mother before making her decision. So she talks to Lucien. Let's talk alone, you, my mom, my dad, and me. All right. He nods and then gives a storage ring with the life crystals to Sophia. Sloth, could you start? Yes. Sloth materializes her body and nods. Then Lucien hugs Rose around the waist and looks at Daisy before flapping his wings and flying to the surface of the island. They go to a stone ship half a mile from the island where Heike is. He didn't want to drink one of Daisy's potions and would therefore be negatively affected by the life crystals if he stayed in the mine. Also, he doesn't like staying around Lucien's troops and wives as they seem to hate him. As Lucien lands on the ship's deck, hugging Rose, Heike looks at them with an annoyed expression. Despite trying, he can't hide his disapproval of their relationship. Daisy lands right next to Lucien, and Heike tries to smile at her, but her cold expression makes him feel even worse. Good morning, Father.in.law. Lucien talks in a friendly manner, and although Heike doesn't believe in his good intentions, Rose can feel that Lucien really wants to get along with her father. Did something happen? Heike asks Daisy, ignoring Lucien, which makes Rose upset. But Lucien isn't upset and quickly explains. We've arrived at the portal, so we might be traveling to the Blue Star soon. I see, Heike responds as he continues gazing at Daisy. Do you have some time for me, my beloved wife? Daisy can't answer, but Rose does. You have to stop it, Dad. Heike looks at his daughter with a confused expression. What does that mean? Rose feels her heart hurting, but she tries to be strong as Lucien strokes her back. Can't you see that Mom is upset? She's trying her best not to hurt you, but she can't take this situation anymore. I don't understand what you want from me, Rose. He answers. I'm doing my best to correct my mistakes and make your mother forgive me. But you're not doing a good job, Rose speaks. All you're doing is making it harder. You shouldn't keep trying to force her to do what you want, and you shouldn't come with us on this journey either. Heike is really desperate because Rose's support was the last link between him and Daisy. Do you want me to give up on your mother and you? You have no right to ask me for that. Who else could do it? She asks. I love you and her equally, and that's why I don't want to see you suffer and especially keep hurting each other. I don't know what to do. Heike kneels on the floor as he feels weaker than ever. Rose contains her sadness as she walks up to her father and hugs him. It's all right, Dad. I'll never abandon you. Heike also tries to contain his sadness, but his frustrations make tears fall from his eyes. But I don't want to lose your mom too. Rose realizes that Heike is like a spoiled child throwing a tantrum. Then she taps his head. Don't cry, Dad, that makes you lose face more than parting with Mom. While he just cries and grumbles, Rose continues. Look, your marriage might not be over yet, but you're destroying all chances to get back with Mom. Really? He asks. Yeah. Rose isn't sure that, but she tries to calm her father down. This journey is essential for Lucien and his sisters as it's about healing them. Mom is helping us, and that's why she doesn't have time to be sure of her feelings. No. Heike shakes his head. She's sure she wants to leave me, and I'm going to lose her forever if I don't keep trying to fix our relationship. You're wrong, Dad, you can't fix anything like that, Rose explains. What about you giving her time? This journey could be the time you need to rethink your feelings. No. He keeps denying it. He knows in his heart that Daisy doesn't feel anything for him anymore. Dad. Rose starts to lose patience. Please give Mom this time. If she misses you, it's because your marriage can be fixed. He looks at Daisy. What if she doesn't miss me? So it's really gone. Rose responds. But you'll always be my father just as she is my mother. Also, you're still young and so handsome, so I'm sure you can find a new wife who deserves your love. A new wife. Heike was so focused on not losing Daisy that he never thought of another woman. He still knows he will never find a woman as beautiful and powerful as she is, but he can use another woman to make Daisy jealous and come back to him. A desperate person will look for any way to solve their problems even if it doesn't make sense. I would suggest a human wife this time. Lucien speaks amiably. Daisy holds her desire to laugh while Rose nods. Hubby is right, you should look for someone like you, Dad. Heike looks at Daisy again. There's no way I can go with you. Before Daisy responds, Rose does. No. It's already decided, you won't come with us. That journey is going to be too dangerous, and our group only has women. They can't get comfortable around a man other than Lucien. Heike understands that. In fact, he's still scared of Pride, Eve, and Donna. So he realizes that pursuing Daisy isn't something he can do now, unlike his plan to get a new wife to make her jealous. Alright, I'll wait for you to get back. He speaks as he hugs Rose. Although he is still afraid of losing her, he is grateful that his daughter still loves him, and that he wants to be a better father from now on. As she hugs her father, Rose smiles at Lucien and Daisy. Then they fly back to the mine while she spends some time saying goodbye to Heike. In the air, Lucien and Daisy look at each other and smile, both looking forward to the journey ahead. Chapter 475. Pirating in Unexplored Waters, 1/2. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. While Sloth and Daisy clean the portal and check its enchantments, Lucien can't stop worrying about something. And the girls can see that on his face. What is it? What's worrying you? Eve taps his shoulder and asks. He looks at some of his troops standing around the mine. Not taking them on this journey seemed like a good idea, but I don't feel good about it. Lust materializes her body on the other side of him. You're quite possessive and overprotective, so it makes sense to feel that way. Maybe we can take them. Eve comments. We have a lot of resources now, right? Yes, we do. Sloth hears the conversation and responds. But I don't think it's a good idea. The Blue Star is a dangerous medium world, and your troops are still unprepared for the challenges we'll encounter there. Lust nods. Exactly. They better stay here and wait for us to get back. In the meantime, they'll keep getting stronger because your demonic energy inside them doesn't just disappear. Also. Sloth makes a thoughtful expression. We would have to use a lot of life crystals to take all your troops with us. However, we can use these crystals to strengthen them while we are in the Blue Star. But what about the affinity issue? Lucien asks. Lust understands Sloth's intention and quickly explains. You're the solution. I mean, you've been giving life mana to all your girls all this time, plus our demonic energy. I think that's enough so they can drink a few life mana potions without suffering any risk. Sloth nods and continues. Also, you could use your secret ingredients, making the potion even better for them. If they take one of these potions every month for a year, it might be enough to get them to the Earth Realm. The Earth Realm. Pride materializes her body and shakes her head. Bullshit. What kind of miracle potion could make it? Lust smiles. You underestimate Lucien's special milk. Sloth nods. Yeah, his seeds can do it, I know from my own experience. Amelia and Sophia just blush, but Donna and Eve want to dig a hole to hide. What the hell is this conversation? Donna asks as she tries to hide her embarrassed expression. Lucien smiles and looks at Daisy. Daisy, how many potions can you make in one day? I can make many cauldrons at the same time, but... She quickly responds but then started to blush. But if you want to put your thing in them, it might be more complicated. Lust starts stroking Lucien's cock. Give them a nice lovemaking session, and I'll collect the excess that comes out inside their bodies. Sounds good. Lucien feels less bad about abandoning his troops if giving them a good reward and material so they can continue getting stronger. They will still be sad that they can't have sex with him for some time, but taking them to another world now would be too risky, and that would slow them down a lot. I could go back to Port Green with Daisy while she makes the potions and I take care of the troops. That would also be a good time for Rose to take her father home, and we can meet here in 4 days. What about it? He suggests. That would also give me time to make sure the portal is working perfectly. Sloth comments. Sounds good. Eve and Pride agree at the same time. Sophia doesn't like to be away from Lucien for more than a few minutes, but she understands that it's necessary while Amelia quickly moves to his side, making it clear that she's going with him to Port Green. Donna, however, has a strange expression on her face. 4 days. Will it be enough time for all of them? The girls start laughing while Lucien nods. If I focus on that task and don't sleep, yes, that's more than enough time. Wasting no time, they put the plan into action. Donna stays in the mine with Sophia, Helena, Genevieve, and Lucien's other wives while Sloth finishes preparing the portal. Lucien goes to Port Green with Daisy and Amelia and spends all his time with his troops on the stone ships. Eve and Pride go with Rose to the eastern continent to take Heike home. 4 days later, they gather in front of the portal again, everyone ready for the journey. Like Sophia, Amelia and Daisy have frustrated expressions on their face. They want the same thing, but Lucien can't pay attention to them right now as he wants so badly to go to the Blue Star to find his other sisters and the Phoenix. So Sloth activates the portal, creating a watery surface within the stone arch. Is everyone ready? Lucien asks. Yes. All the girls nod. He opens the portal to the purple world, and all the women with his tattoo enter it. Then Lucien and the other girls enter the Blue Star portal. Just like when Lucien and his sisters entered the portal in their homeworld, they see everything go dark while their bodies seem to be adrift, floating in the void, or rather, interworld space. For them, that feels like a few seconds, but actually, the distance between Argyrum and the Blue Star is gigantic, so they spend almost a week traveling in the interworld space until they see a blue light. The group is pushed into that blue light, and then everyone comes out of the portal and realizes they are shrouded in water, like at the bottom of the ocean. Without Angela and her daughters to make their way through the water smoothly, Lucien and his group swim to the surface that appears to be less than 100 meters above. Even in the water, Lucien can see that Eve, Daisy, Genevieve, and Helena are fine. Yet, as they get out of the water, he quickly asks. Is everyone all right? Yeah. The girls nod, however, Eve quickly notices a glow coming from Lucien's waist. Lucy. He also notices that and sees that the ghost lady's blade is glowing blue. He picks up the sword and feels its energy getting aroused. What is happening? Lust materializes her body and comments. Perhaps these are repressed memories. We know those cursed swords came from the blue and brown stars. Lucien can't quite understand anything about the ghost lady other than the fact that she likes his demonic energy. Then he just gets more confused as he watches the blue glow fade and the sword become calm again. Where are we? Daisy quickly creates a stone ship for them and then looks around, seeing only water and more water. They are certainly in an ocean. Lucien opens the portal to the purple world, and all his wives come to the ship. Everyone is fine, making it clear that traveling between worlds in the purple world is totally safe. Eve, Helena, and Genevieve fly high to get a good view around them, but still, all they can see is water, a vast blue horizon. This is definitely the Blue Star. Pride comments. Even the sky looks bluer than usual. Where are we going? Donna asks. All I can see is water. Lucien looks at Helena. How far did you see? About 50 miles. She quickly responds. 50 miles. Lucien and all his wives are shocked. By focusing his senses to the max, he can maybe see over 7 miles while the Sins can see a little farther, so the difference between that and 50 miles is very significant. She uses a vision ability. Lust comments. That's how she watched us from so far away without us being able to detect her. Helena nods. Actually, I used an ability to hide my aura too. But yeah, I have vision abilities. Lucien can't help but look at Maggie as he thinks aloud. Does Maggie can do something like that too? Lust nods. Well, Helena's power level, ignoring her current state, is the immortal realm, so Maggie shouldn't be able to see that far as her, though. She smiles at Lucien. I don't think Helena's vision abilities are of a high level, but due to your demonic energy, Maggie's abilities are improving at an unbelievable rate. Let's try it then. Lucien signals to Maggie, and she quickly gets in front of him. Hubby. She speaks in a cute tone as she feels a little embarrassed that she has suddenly become the focus of attention. He kisses her lips gently. Don't feel pressured, just try to use your ability to see the far you can. Just as he asked, Maggie does. Although she can see through solid surfaces in a few miles radius just using her eyes, she does as before to focus as much as possible, creating a circle of gray energy as she did before meeting Lucien. Inside the circle of energy, Maggie and everyone around her can see what's in front of it magnified, like a big magnifying glass. Maggie focuses even more on her special energy, making the magic circle show farther and farther. They feel that when looking into the circle, their eyes are moving away from their bodies at incredible speed. Yet, that speed keeps increasing as Maggie puts more energy into the circle. Nothing gets in the way of the circle, making everything they see to be the surface of the sea. 10 miles, 20 miles, 50 miles. The circle allows the group to see as much as Helena could quickly, but it continues to enhance their vision. 100 miles, 200 miles, the speed at which the circle extends their view only starts to slow down after 400 miles, and then Maggie reaches her limit a little over 500 miles, surprising everyone, especially Helena. "Great, my dear." Lucien praises Maggie as he hugs her from behind. Then he kisses her neck, making her smile. "And yet we haven't seen anything in that direction for 500 miles. Donna comments. "We only saw it above water." Sloth comments. "This is the blue star, a world almost entirely covered in water. So it's normal for almost everything to be inside the sea. It makes sense." Lucien comments and then talks to Maggie. "Let's try looking in other directions above the sea first." Maggie starts moving the circle slowly because as it is showing an area 500 miles away, every millimeter she moves the circle makes them see several miles. Still, all the group sees are the ocean waves. After a minute, they almost give up hope of seeing anything interesting, but then they notice a sea creature jump out of the water before diving in again. "What is that?" Amelia is the first to ask, while everyone else has the same question. The creature appears to be a fish over 4 meters long, but there's no way to be sure as they aren't sure how far the creature is from Maggie's ability. "Looks like a fish that likes to jump." Donna comments. Since that creature is the first thing besides water the group sees in that world, Maggie follows it for a few seconds. Then they see the fish dive and not jump out of the water again. What happened? Did it get tired of playing? Mia thinks aloud. Or was it scared of something? Astrid comments, and just as she thought, everyone sees a huge ship appear in the magic circle, which probably scared the jumping fish. Maggie quickly focuses her ability on the ship. And even without being able to get a very clear view of it, it is possible to see that the ship is mainly made of wood and is several times bigger than their big stone ship. It's really giant. Cassidy comments while not even having an idea how many meters big that ship is. It looks bigger than a castle. Daisy comments while she is also surprised by the size of that ship. That shouldn't work well because it's so big, but it's sailing at a much faster speed than she can move her stone ships or fly alone. It's a magic ship. Lust comments. Sloth nods. Yes, it's a ship made with high-quality magic resources to sail at impressive speeds using more magic resources to boost itself. The group can also see hundreds of people on that impressive ship. However, it moves further and further away from Maggie's ability, preventing them from seeing more. What should we do? Donna thinks aloud as she looks at Eve and Lucien. We must reach them. Lucien and Pride speak at the same time. We need to know more about this world, and those people can tell us about it. He explains, and Pride nods, agreeing with him. Then she smiles. Also, if you had a ship like that, we could sail faster than we can fly. Lucien also nods, agreeing with her. Traveling at high speed and in a comfortable way. Sounds really good to me. Then Cassidy makes a thoughtful expression. So it's going to be like this. We're just going to go to them, find out anything useful they know and then steal their ship. That makes us look like pirates. Lucien smiles just like envy. Chapter 476. Pirating in Unexplored Waters, February 2nd, you are listening at NovelFull.audio. Somewhere in the South Sea, one of Blue Star's 5 major regions. The light of the same sun that illuminates the worlds known as the 7 stars shines over the infinite sea. And a giant magic ship sails at high speed towards the west. On that ship, 500 men sing excitedly. The Sea Devil crew is overjoyed by the suspenseful accomplishment of their last mission, something that is about to change the entire power structure of the South Sea. Inside the captain's cabin, a tall young man can't stop smiling as he drinks the best rum he has. On the floor in front of him is a young girl trapped by a glowing net. Shit. The girl, who doesn't look more than 20, moans in pain as she feels her body getting weaker and weaker. The net that holds her doesn't seem to weigh more than a few grams, but she doesn't even have the strength to raise her arms. Don't try too hard, or you'll just feel worse. The man comments as his lips curve into a wide grin, revealing his silver teeth. This net is limiting your life energy to the minimum only to keep you alive, but you can't use your strength or any ability now. The girl has an annoyed expression on her face while her beautiful fiery red hair seems to lose that magical glow that has always enchanted everyone around her. You won't get away with this, you disgusting bastard. She tries to spit on the floor in front of the man but doesn't even have the strength to do it. Ha ha ha. The man starts laughing as he fills his glass with more rum. Do you really think someone could stop me now? A red and yellow glow runs through the girl's eyes and hair. My grandma will come after you. She'll rip your skin off and burn your flesh. BL.net. The man makes a thoughtful expression. Why is everyone in the Rising Phoenix clan so fond of burning everything? The girl smiles. It's tradition. Just like the majestic phoenix, we burn our enemies to ashes. Ha ha ha. The man laughs again. You are really a fool to believe in things like phoenixes. Those are legends that no one believes anymore, just as your clan will soon be. The girl shakes her head. My grandma would never allow that. Do you feel this heat getting closer to your ass? That's my grandma's foot. She is coming to rescue me. A toast to that. The man smiles and raises his glass. I mean, I'm sure she's coming for you, as that was always the plan. Boss never make mistakes. The girl grits her teeth. First you kidnap my mother and now me. Don't you really fear the wrath of my Rising Phoenix clan? My grandmother is going to burn you all, damn sea dogs. The man shakes his head. I would fear your grandma, but as you see, boss gave me the Sea Devil for this mission, so there is no way your people could reach me. Also, this ship will be mine forever after I deliver you to my boss, he. The girl finally understands the man's intent. So this is a trap. You're attracting my grandma to. Knock knock. Before the girl finishes speaking, they hear a knock on the door. The man makes an annoyed expression. What the hell is happening that you stop my fun? Captain Carmelo. Another man speaks in a hesitant tone from behind the door. We have a problem. Shit. Carmelo gets up and looks at the girl on the floor with a wicked smile. Wait for me here, I'll be right back. He goes out into the hallway, which is as big as the hallway of a castle. Also, there are several doors along the way, making it clear that there are many large and luxurious rooms like the one he was in. Carmelo looks at his servant, a tall, strong man. What is it? You have to see it. The man quickly speaks and then leads the way to the deck. As soon as they reach the huge deck, which is hundreds of meters long, Carmelo notices that almost everyone in the ship is looking in the same direction with curious expressions. What? He looks at the horizon but can only notice a small red dot in the sky. Captain. His servant calls him while flying towards the top of the ship's highest mast. His body doesn't float but flies fast, making it clear he's in the sky realm or higher realms. Carmelo also flies to the top of that mast. Once there, he lands on a platform where there are 2 men. One of them bows to Carmelo while the other is focused on a large glass screen with a lively image of a handsome red-winged man flying, Lucian, of course. The blue star is a world dozens of times larger than Argerim, so people like Carmelo, even over 1,000 years old, don't know all the secrets of the Infinity Sea, as they call it. The Sea Devil crew wouldn't be surprised even if they saw a dragon flying over those waters. Still, the most shocking thing about Lucian, besides his beauty that even other men can't deny, is the fact that he's approaching one of the ships considered Blue Star's top 3 fastest ones. Who is he? Carmelo asks the man that is looking at the glass screen. That glass screen is an artifact to amplify vision abilities, and the man clearly has such abilities as he is using his special mana to activate that. I have no idea. The man answers honestly. I've never heard of anyone with his characteristics. Damn. Carmelo keeps looking at Lucian, who is about 20 miles away from them. How is he approaching us? I thought even Immortal Realm people couldn't be faster than the Sea Devil. The man with vision abilities has a thoughtful expression. I don't think anyone has tested this ship against people from the Immortal Realm late layers. So he. Carmelo makes a worried expression. Despite having many Sky Realm warriors with him, which could kill someone from the early and mid-Immortal Realm stages alone, he doesn't think they're prepared to face someone from the Immortal Realm peak. The other man shakes his head as he looks confused. Not really, he looks like he's in the Earth Realm. Earth Realm? Carmelo asks sarcastically. I thought you were a good scout, but you must be crazy if you think someone from the Earth Realm could fly that fast. The scout agrees with Carmelo. Yeah, that sounds crazy, but I'm not sure. His wings look really strong, and I feel a strange energy coming from him. Something I've never felt before. What do you mean? Carmelo asks. The scout sighs before explaining. That man is very mysterious. My intuition says he's dangerous. I suggest pushing the ship to its maximum and trying to get rid of him. We shouldn't face such a strange guy. Bullshit. Carmel's first servant exclaims and points at Lucian. That guy is alone, so it doesn't matter if he's in the Immortal or Earth Realm or if he's fast and has these badass wings, we can beat him down. Carmelo prefers not to stop due to their mission, but Lucian's appearance catches his attention, leaving him wondering what to do. The third servant quickly comments. I think we should capture this guy. Alonso could extract his secrets and then make a nice trophy with his wings and horns. I guess not. A strange smile appears on Carmelo's face as he looks into Lucian's face. Even though he's not human, this guy is the most beautiful person I've ever seen. I'm sure he'll be boss's new favorite toy. He. The other men start laughing in that same perverted and bizarre way. Then Carmelo flies up to the deck while giving orders to his crew. Pull down the sails. Drop anchors. Prepare for battle. His main servant quickly picks a glowing net like the one that holds the girl in the captain's cabin while standing next to him. If he's really in the Earth Realm, it will be a piece of cake. Carmelo keeps looking at the red dot that keeps getting closer in the sky. If he can fly that fast, he must have other abilities. Be prepared, but don't damage his face. Yes, Captain. Carmelo's servants prepare to capture Lucian while imagining the rewards their boss will give them for the most handsome and charming guy they've ever seen. In the sky, Lucian is flying as fast as he can, using all of his demonic energies. Ha. It feels so good to have a challenge like this. He feels excited because Argerim's challenges had already become boring for him, except for the appearance of Alexa, of course. But now, as he struggles to reach that mysterious ship, he feels even more desire to become stronger and faster. Yet, his current speed is already superior to what most Immortal Realm people can reach. He had to leave the women without his tattoos behind in order to stop the ship. Surprisingly, the one right behind him is Eve, flying faster than Genevieve, Helena, and Daisy. His big sis keeps getting stronger at an unbelievable level, which makes him desire even more to see what they could do by joining their demonic energies. However, now is not the time to think about that but the incredibly giant ship in front of him. Lucien notices the ship has stopped and smiles as he talks to Lust. I think they noticed me. I think we should wait for Eve and Pride. Lust suggests. We don't know what dangers we're going to face in this world, so we'd better be careful. He makes a thoughtful expression as he slows his flight 5 miles from the ship. Can you feel someone from the immortal realm? Lust's senses are getting better thanks to Lucien's abundant and powerful demonic energy, so she quickly analyzes the entire Sea Devil crew. 30.7 Sky Realm people, the others are all in the Earth realm. So they pose no threat to us. He comments. 9 of them are at levels similar to Genevieve, and the battle against her wasn't really easy. She comments. But she's with us now, and I'm stronger than before. Lucien smiles devilishly. So let me be a little arrogant here. Lust feels like smiling inside Lucien's soul. I shouldn't encourage you to act like that, but you look so sexy when you're acting arrogant. Despite not knowing what awaits him on that mysterious ship, Lucien doesn't think twice about flying towards it. He doesn't think that's acting carelessly, but rather trusting the powerful women within his soul, ready to fight alongside him against any opponent. As soon as he gets within 200 meters of the ship, he stops in midair, already aware of the invisible barrier that protects it, thanks to Lust. The ship's crew is not extraordinary, but normal humans, just a lot stronger than other humans he saw recently. In fact, they have powers similar to the humans of his homeworld. However, everything about the ship is impressively luxurious, which pleases him very much. He tries to read the name written on the hull, but he doesn't recognize that language. Ancient Oceanic language. Lust comments in his mind. The name sounds perfect. The Sea Devil. Really? Lucien can't help asking out loud. That ship looked perfect before, but with that name, it looks like your mother also prepared it. Lust completes Lucien's thought and quickly continues. There's no way she knows what day we're coming here, so I think it's really an incredible coincidence. You are lucky at all. Yes, I feel lucky now. Lucien smiles as the Sea Devil crew gets confused. But these men are incredibly unlucky. Ha ha ha. Lust starts to laugh in Lucien's mind. They don't know, but they are about to meet the real Sea Devil. Chapter 477. The Sea Devil. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. As Lucien analyzes the Sea Devil with greedy eyes, Carmelo and his group are confused. Why do I get the feeling he wants to steal our ship? Alone. His main servant asks. So he must be the worst kind of pirate ever. The scout quickly flies to Carmel's side to report. Now I'm sure he's in the Earth realm early stages. Also, I don't feel that energy in him anymore, maybe that was a treasure or something. Now seeing Lucien up close, Carmelo's instincts tell them something is wrong, but he has a powerful crew, and if he fears an Arath realm strange guy alone, he will become the joke of all South Seas. Then he looks at Lucien with an inquisitive expression. Who the hell are you? In the sky, Lucien smiles as he realizes he understands what Carmelo is saying. Then Lust comments. The languages of the 7 stars are not much different from those of Argrim and your homeworld, except for some ancient languages like those of aquatic tribes. I see. He comments while looking at Carmelo and his crew. For some reason, he can recognize a strange glow in their eyes, as if they'd found an incredible treasure or something. Before Carmelo speaks again, Lucien starts flying towards the ship. My name is Lucien, can we talk? Talk. Ha ha ha. A big fat guy starts to laugh ominously, while everyone else laughs too. Carmelo shakes her head, not understanding why Lucien looks so naive. Sure, we can talk. Those 500 men see a lamb entering the wolves' den, but the truth is they are rabbits inviting the lion to lunch. Put down the barrier, Carmelo speaks to his group, allowing Lucien to land on the deck in front of him. To prevent him from escaping, they quickly activate the powerful barrier again. Lucien ignores Carmelo and his crew as he analyzes the ship. "You have a wonderful ship. I'm just envious." Again, the Sea Devil crew starts laughing at Lucien's naivete while Carmelo smiles at him. "You're not from the South Sea, right? I think any human would recognize the Sea Devil from afar and wouldn't approach us even if the world was falling apart." "Why?" Lucien smiles back at him, demonstrating that his charm can captivate even people like them. "Are you by any chance bad guys?" "Ha ha ha." Carmelo can't contain his laugh. "I am Carmelo, captain of the Sea Devil. My group is called Black Sea Raiders, and yes, we are the bad guys." "Oh no." Lucien makes a fake concerned expression. "So I ran towards the bad guys." That reaction doesn't seem funny anymore to the Black Sea Riders. They should be angry at Lucien for acting arrogantly, but they can only get confused as that situation seems too bizarre. What would make a guy like him, alone in the middle of the ocean, act like that to 500 scary pirates? They wonder. His head is too fucked up, there's no other explanation. Carmelo's main servant comments and the other guys agree. Carmelo keeps looking at Lucien's face with a strange expression. "You see, I'm in the middle of an important mission, and I can't waste any time. But since you came to us willingly, I'll take you to my boss as a gift. Boss loves breaking cute guys like you, hee hee hee." A bearded man comments while laughing, showing his yellow teeth. Everyone starts laughing again, except for the scout, who still thinks Lucien is dangerous. So he can't resist asking. "What were you thinking to come to us?" "Well, I just arrived in this world, so I need a guide," Lucien answers honestly and then looks around. "Also, I want this ship. It looks really nice and will allow me and my girls to sail faster and comfortably." He's really crazy. Everyone agrees. But then Carmelo's expression gets even more bizarrely happy. "Which girls are you talking about?" Lucien slowly points to the sky behind him, and at that exact moment, Eve appears. No one noticed her approaching as they were focused on Lucien. So beautiful. All Sea Devil crew think at the same time. Just as Lucien is the most handsome guy they've ever seen, Eve is the most beautiful woman. The scout quickly analyzes Eve's power and reports back to Carmelo. "Sky Realm second layer. But just like this guy, she seems to be stronger than that." Carmelo doesn't even notice how worried the scout sounds. No lascivious man like him could be calm after see a beautiful woman like Eve. He can only think of her naked in his bed right now. Then he smiles at Lucien. "You will get the gift to my boss, but your girl is mine." A purple and gold glow runs through Lucien's eyes as he thinks of a creative and painful way to kill Carmelo, but just then, the other girls arrive at Eve's side in the sky. "Lucien!" Daisy exclaims in a concerned tone. Despite being confident in his strength, she feels many powerful auras among the Black Sea Riders. He looks at the girls and smiles. "Don't break this barrier, please. I don't want to damage our new ship." "What the H?" Lucien's words shock the Black Sea Riders again. But Carmelo is more interested in those beautiful women. "Your wives. Damn. Their beauty is really out of this world." The bearded man again chuckles, showing his teeth as he approaches Lucien to tap his shoulder. "Boy, you really want to give this old man a reason to be happy. These girls are fucking lovely and Ednel.co whoosh." The man can't finish talking or touch Lucien's shoulder as he quickly moves behind him like a purple shadow, grabs the back of his neck, and makes him kneel by forcing his shoulders down. "Ayaha!" The man screams in pain as Lucien's grab begins to break his bones. He's in the 8th layer of the Earth realm, but he doesn't look any stronger than someone from the 0 realm under Lucien's strength. Carmelo and the other Black Sea Riders quickly prepare their weapons, but they still don't see Lucien as a threat for catching that poor drunk man off guard. Lucien starts to smile grimly as he talks to the bearded man. Did you like what you saw? I hope so, because they're the last thing you'll see. Break. Before any of the Black Sea Riders make any move to save the bearded man, Lucien pulls his head up by his neck, ripping it off along with his spine, which comes out his body in a whole piece, splashing blood all over the place. Drops of blood trickle down Lucien's devilishly handsome face as he closes his eyes and makes an expression of pleasure. Ah, it's been a while since I felt this. Shit. The Black Sea Riders are shocked by that. Despite being brutal pirates who kill and torture people naturally, they've never seen anything quite like Lucien's expression before. He looks really diabolic. While Helena and Genevieve can't help but feel a little scared of Lucien, Eve and Daisy don't see anything wrong with that. They approve of his brutality against anyone outside their family as well as enjoy the loving way he treats them. The Sins, on the other hand, feel something much more complex. Although they always bonded in soul with their hosts, they never really thought anyone could really be like them, at least not in the way Lucien is. Lust, pride, anger, envy, sloth. He feels those on a level that no one but the Sins does. Not just that, but greed and gluttony are equally present in it. And he puts those feelings together perfectly, making the Sins admire him. Boy, you shouldn't have done that, Carmelo speaks as he looks at Lucien with a hostile expression. Boss is going to have to be content to get you already broken. Due to the way Lucien killed an Earth Realm late stages guy so easily, everyone else of that level or below backs off as the Sky Realm people begin to surround him. Eve and Daisy feel an instinctive urge to go to his side, but they want to respect his request not to break the ship's barrier. Yet, they will act as soon as he appears to be in real danger. The Sins also feel that desire, but they don't have such space limitations. Then they materialize their bodies alongside Lucien. The first one to do that is clearly Lust, staying on his right side while Pride doesn't waste time getting on his left side. Lucien's features are quite unique as his wings look dragonic while his horns and tail look demonic. But the characteristics of the Sins make it clear what they are. And the Scout quickly understands that. Demons. They are damn demons. Carmelo is not scared when he notices the Sins appearing out of nowhere but more excited. Demons. I'll get an even better reward for giving your heads to the Guardians. The Sins smile as Lucien steps forward. Why don't you start with me? How about a duel? Or don't you want to get your hands dirty? A duel. Carmelo starts laughing. You really have the balls. Oh, I forgot, actually, your demon head is too fucked up. Ha ha ha. Pride rolls her eyes. Ants shouldn't fight dragons indeed. Her words shouldn't mess up with him too much, but Pride's mocking expression hurts Carmelo's ego in a way that no one else has ever done. Humiliating Lucien in front of his girls immediately becomes his main objective. Then he materializes a beautiful greenish saber. Its aura quickly spreads everywhere, making it clear that it's a soul weapon. So he points the saber at Lucien. Let's do it. Lucien smiles as he opens the purple world portal behind him. His wives start coming out of the portal, surprising everyone, not only because they are appearing out of nowhere but also because of their incredible beauty. His demonic energy and his life mana continue to make his girls even more beautiful and perfect. So they're already at the level that overcomes the greatest beauties of Blue Star, well, at least on the human side, as no one can really claim to know all the women of the aquatic races. Lucien's wives already understand what's going on due to their connection to him, but the Black Sea Riders are increasingly confused. So he explains. My wives love a good show performed by me. Hump. Carmelo doesn't want to say anything else. He got tired of conversations and insults. Then he firmly grips the hilt of his saber as he walks to the side, thinking of the best way to attack Lucien. However, Lucien wants to have fun with that. So he gives the ghost lady to lust before walking towards Carmelo with open arms. You know, my last duel was against a really worthy opponent, so I'm going to fight you unarmed to give you a chance. Those words leave the entire Sea Devil crew with a bad taste in their mouths. Such an insult to their captain is an insult to them all. Yet, Carmelo is the most affected, getting really mad. Meanwhile, Wrath is confused, wondering if when Lucien talked about his latest opponent being really worthy, he was talking about her or Alexa. That's not the kind of thing she usually cares about, but somehow, what he thinks of her feels strangely important. Pride, on the other hand, is more focused on what she thinks of Lucien. Seeing him acting so arrogantly, she felt like looking into a mirror. And for her, that's really weird. She has only admired one person in her entire life, and yet, she has never compared herself to Eileen. But now she's comparing herself to Lucien and being pleased that he's so like her. She feels he could be described as a male version of her. As a mix of feelings occurs in the girls behind Lucien, he continues walking towards Carmelo. The Sea Devil's deck is huge, giving them tens of meters of free space as an arena. What are you waiting for? Lucien asks in a mocking tone. I'm here with open arms, waiting for you to make the first move. Carmelo grits his teeth, containing his anger. He turned 1100 years old recently and is almost reaching the immortal realm. But an Earth realm boy is pissing him off, which sounds absurd. Lucien notices that Carmelo is scared, so he starts to spin slowly, still with open arms. I'm afraid if I make the first move, you're done. Chapter 478. Should it look like a duel? You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Turning your back to an opponent in a duel is a suicidal move most of the time, especially if the person is also unarmed and with open arms. Who would do something like that? There are two likely types of people. In the first case, it's someone very dumb and who underestimates the opponent. And in the second case, that person has as much confidence in their power as they want to humiliate the opponent. Despite not knowing which case Lucien fits in, Carmelo becomes triggered. He can no longer bear that shit in front of his comrades. Fuck you, bastard. He exclaims as they run towards Lucien, swinging his green saber forward wildly. Due to his strength, the green blade cuts through the air at incredible speed, also creating a powerful force wave that would blast any normal person from the mortal realm away. Such a blow would cut through mountains easily, and everyone can feel the overwhelming aura of a soul weapon, wielded by someone from the Sky Realm peak, press their bodies. But Lucien's wives seem unaffected by that aura as well as he. In fact, he looks very relaxed as he smiles at the Black Sea Riders. Your arrogance will be your end. Carmelo thinks as his green saber hits Lucien. He close watches his saber's blade begin to cut through Lucien's clothing and reach into what is supposed to be his skin. But Carmelo doesn't feel any resistance while his saber still seems to be cutting the wind. Also, there is no blood. No drop of blood comes out of Lucien's body. What the hell? Carmelo notices that something is wrong, but due to the furious force he used to initiate that attack, he can't just stop it. Then he gets both shocked and terrified as his weapon cuts Lucien's body in half, turning it into two smoke clouds, which vanishes into the air as Carmelo loses balance. Carmelo's saber blade hits the floor as he has his eyes wide open, not understanding what just happened. The other Black Sea Riders are even more confused as they just saw Carmelo hit the ship floor instead of Lucien, who is standing next to him. An illusion. Pride thinks out loud with a neutral expression, but she is really impressed. Wrath doesn't hide her shock. When did he become able to use such ability? And why does he can use it on someone almost 2 realms above him? Sophia and Sloth have the same loving smile on their face. That was the result of our last night together. Or was it the one before that? Lucien's wives can't help but keep getting surprised by him. Even though they feel they are getting stronger so fast, their progress cannot be compared to his. Not only in strength and speed but also because he is always acquiring new abilities, the abilities of them. He is also surprised. Lucien didn't think Carmelo would slam his saber on the floor to stop his attack, but seeing that the ship wasn't damaged by that powerful blow, Lucien just feels luckier to have found it. Here. He smiles provocatively at Carmelo. Not attacking him while he's more vulnerable. Ha! Carmelo quickly looks to the side and sees Lucien standing there, still with open arms. So he concludes that it was an illusion ability to something like that. But why didn't he attack me? Carmelo also concludes that Lucien wants to humiliate him more, which only makes him angrier, also preventing him from thinking straight. Damn you! He swings his saber toward Lucien again. Whoosh whoosh. Except for Lucien's sisters, the Sins, and other Sky Realm people there, everyone has difficulty following Carmelo's movements with their eyes as he is so fast. But Lucien dodges his attacks easily. 1, 2, 4, 10. All of Carmel's quick attacks cut only the air, making him more nervous and also apprehensive. Ha-ya! Carmelo screams as he pushes his body to the limit, trying his best to hit Lucien with his saber. But after so many failed attacks, he starts to realize that Lucien is a monster. He can't really be in the Earth realm. Or is he only fast? Thinking Lucien only has specific abilities and no real strength, Carmelo stops swinging his saber wildly and stands in front of him in a bold move. I won't let you. He starts to say something, but Lucien quickly punches his face. Bam! Carrying the devastating force of his demonic energies, Lucien hits Carmel in the face. But as soon as his fist reaches his body, Carmel's skin turns green. It's a defensive ability. Lust quickly warns Lucien. Lucien already expected Carmelo to have an impressive ability as he has a soul weapon. That's why he was trying to force him to use his ability. And that ability is really something, as it stops Lucien's mighty punch, preventing Carmelo from taking any damage. It can't be. But Carmelo looks more shocked than before. He understands his ability well and knows that it only activates when he is about to take fatal damage. How could that punch kill me? Carmelo can only conclude that Lucien's strength is as impressive as his abilities and speed. Oh, so you have an interesting ability. Lucien smiles as Carmelo's mind is in a mess. Whoosh! Carmelo quickly tries to counterattack with his saber. Bam! But Lucien quickly grips his wrist with his left hand. Then he smiles as he rises and shows his right fist, where his skin starts to petrify. As Rose smiles, Lucien comments. I also have an ability like that, thanks to my love. Carmelo doesn't understand what Lucien means, but he notices that stone fist coming toward his face. He tries to grip Lucien's fist just as he did but fails. Bam! Lucien lands a powerful punch onto Carmelo's face again. And because his fist is covered with a stone layer, he doesn't feel any pain even when that strange ability is activated again. Bam! He punches again while squeezing Carmelo's fist with his other hand, also causing his ability to be activated around his wrist. Carmelo tries to get rid of Lucien, but his strength is too dominant. Also, for his ability to activate, he consumes a lot of special mana, quickly getting weaker. Bam! Lucien's punches quickly begin to damage Carmel's green skin, breaking his perfect defense. His pathetic state makes Lucien's wives laugh while the Black Sea Riders are upset to see their captain being so humiliated. After 20 powerful punches, charged with Lucien's energy, Carmelo is almost done. By having activated his defensive ability so many times, he's almost out of energy. When his wrist is about to break, just like his skull, Lucien drops him to the floor. Is that all you have? It can't even be called a duel. The Black Sea Riders really want to attack Lucien now and help Carmelo. But they all respect a duel a lot. Not that they are really honorable people, but their leader would kill them if she found out that one of her captains needed help during a duel. Yet, Carmel's main servant is also his best friend. Seeing that he is on the floor, completely defeated, he feels obligated to do something. Then he quickly points a strange tubular object in Lucien's direction and fires a glowing ball that opens up into the air, turning into a magic net. Lucien notices that man's movements before he shoots the magic net, so he has enough time to dodge that several times, but he doesn't move because he notices something interesting. Boom! They all hear the noise of the strange tubular object firing the net, which they see flying towards Lucien. But while it's in the air, a brilliant white light, the purest white they've ever seen, appears out of nowhere, blinding anyone who doesn't close their eyes quickly. Do you dare to use such a sneak attack on him? The overwhelming and dominant voice of Pride echoes in a few miles radius around the Sea Devil, making all the Black Sea Riders tremble, especially that man who shot the magic net. Before that man can regain his sight, he feels something fall over his body. He immediately notices his life force being sucked out from him and quickly understands that he is trapped by the magic net that he just shot. Shit! He curses while he can't move. He falls to the floor helplessly, just like the girl in Carmelo's cabin. Whoosh! A force wave pushes several Black Sea Riders back, opening space around that man as Pride flies in front of him. Despite knowing that Lucien could dodge that net, Pride can't contain her fury. She wonders what would happen if Lucien got trapped, and even though she also knows that she and the other girls could help him, she doesn't like that possibility. As that man tries to crawl on the floor, Pride and Lucien look at each other. At the same time, Carmelo is trying to drink liquid from a bottle, which Lust explains to be a potent healing potion. Lucien smiles, and Pride can't contain the desire to smile back. Then he materializes his red katana and spikes in Carmel's skull while Pride crushes the other man's skull with her foot. Smash smash! Blood flies everywhere while the other Black Sea Riders are terrified. They were very confident in overcoming Lucien's group in strength and number, but Lucien and Pride's show of strength is enough to break their spirit. Yet, the desire to live is always predominant. And since it's not possible to swim thousands of miles back to their house, mainly due to the dangers that the infinite sea has, the Black Sea Riders only have one option: fight for their ship. Well, the Sky Realm ones could fly but not return home. Abandoning their ship and crew is high treason, punishable by death. So as the strongest members of their group, they prepare their weapons and order everyone to attack, hoping their numbers will be enough of an advantage for some of them to survive. Lucien smiles as he talks to his wives. Kill them all. Except one. Then he points to the scout, already aware of his vision ability due to Lust. The scout remembers when Lucien said he needs a guide. That should be enough for him not to have to fear for his life, but he knows that Lucien would probably kill him when he's out of use. Then, out of fear, the poor man flies towards the mechanism that controls the barrier. But he is knocked out by Lucien's stone fist before he even flies a few meters. Ha 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 ha. Donna and Wrath are the first to jump into the middle of the Black Sea Riders, spinning their soul weapons burning with fury energy. Amelia wastes no time and teleports behind a Sky Ream warrior. She spikes her short swords into that man's back while Envy spikes her long daggers into his skull. They feel so powerful, and they know it's because of Lucien. Sophia also feels more powerful than ever as she and Sloth focus on putting the more powerful Black Sea Riders into illusions, preventing them from using their abilities on the girls. The hundreds of Earth Realm enemies are excellent training for other girls. They attack with everything and work as a team while Lucien just watches and protects them, so they don't get hurt. The Black Sea Riders try to fight as a team but are massacred by Lucien's wives. Their blood runs everywhere, staining the Sea Devil. Well, it can always be washed later. From outside the ship's barrier, Eve, Daisy, Helena, and Genevieve can only watch the fight and be amazed at how Mortal Realm girls can slaughter Earth Realm ones so easily. Let alone the fact that the Black Sea Riders are in much higher numbers.